The first time my best friend's fiancé kissed me, his wedding was less than 2 hours away, and I was supposed to be standing beside him as his best man. But instead, I was standing in a dark storage room with the groom's hands gripping the front of my suit like he was afraid I might disappear. And when our lips met, for one terrifying second, I didn't pull away, but to understand how everything went so wrong, you have to go back to the morning of the wedding. The day everything was still perfect. At least, that's what everyone believed. The venue was beautiful, an old vineyard just outside the city. Rows of white chairs stretched across the grass. Flowers everywhere. Soft music drifted through the warm afternoon air. Staff members rushed around setting tables and arranging decorations. And in the middle of all that chaos, my best friend Ethan was smiling like the happiest man alive. "You nervous?" I asked. He laughed, adjusting the sleeves of his suit. "Why would I be nervous? You're getting married in a few hours." "Exactly," he said proudly. "I'm marrying the best man I've ever met." He meant Ryan, his fiancé, the man everyone adored, including me. Ethan and I had been friends since we were kids. Same neighborhood, same school, same stupid teenage mistakes. We had been through everything together. Breakups, family problems, college stress. He was the closest thing I had to a brother. And when he asked me to be his best man 6 months ago, I didn't hesitate for a second. But there was one problem, one secret I had been trying very hard to ignore. Ryan. Because from the moment Ethan introduced us a year ago, something about Ryan unsettled me. Not in a bad way, just dangerously magnetic. Ryan had this quiet confidence about him, the kind that made people naturally gravitate toward him. Tall, dark hair that always fell slightly into his eyes. A calm voice that made you lean closer when he spoke. And a smile that felt warm enough to melt through your defenses. He treated Ethan like gold, which made it impossible to dislike him. But now and then, I would catch him looking at me, not the way people normally look at a friend. Something more curious than that. Something that made my stomach tighten. I always told myself I was imagining it. Because the alternative, it was way too complicated. "Hey," Ethan said suddenly. "You've been quiet. Just thinking. About my speech?" "Yeah." He grinned. "Don't embarrass me too much. No promises." We both laughed. And for a moment, everything felt normal again. Until Ryan appeared across the garden. He was talking with the wedding planner near the reception tables. But the second his eyes lifted, they landed directly on me, and stayed there, just for a second. Then he looked away, like it hadn't happened. Ethan followed my gaze. "God, I got lucky," he said softly. I forced a smile. "Yeah. You know he almost didn't come tonight?" "What do you mean?" "He said he needed some air earlier," Ethan said. "Probably wedding nerves." Maybe. But something about the way Ryan had looked at me just now didn't feel like nerves. Felt like tension. A little later, Ethan got pulled away by his parents. Family photos, relatives, last-minute wedding chaos, which left me wandering toward the main building to grab a drink. Inside, the hallway was quiet. Most guests were still outside enjoying the view. As I walked past the catering area, I heard someone behind me. "Lucas." My body stiffened instantly. I turned. Ryan was standing at the end of the hallway, tie loosened slightly, suit jacket hanging open. For a second, neither of us spoke. Then I forced a small smile. "Big day." "Yeah." His voice sounded calm, but his eyes looked different, more intense than usual. "You look good in that suit," he added. I laughed lightly. Best man privilege. Ryan stepped closer, slowly. "You've been avoiding me today." "I've been busy." "That's not what I meant." The air in the hallway suddenly felt warmer. Dangerous. I crossed my arms. "You should probably go back outside." "Probably." But he didn't move. Instead, he glanced toward the nearby door, a small storage room. Then he looked back at me. "Can I talk to you for a second?" My stomach tightened. "What about?" "Just Come here. Before I could question it further, he gently took my wrist and pulled me toward the door. The storage room was dim. Stacks of wine crates lined the walls. The door clicked shut behind us. And suddenly, the sounds of the wedding outside felt miles away. I pulled my hand back. What are you doing? Ryan looked at me like he had been holding something in all day. Something he couldn't contain anymore. Lucas. My chest tightened. Ryan, your wedding is in 2 hours. I know. Then why are you acting like this? For a moment he just looked at me. Then he said something that made my heart stumble. Because I can't stop thinking about you. The words hung in the air. Heavy. Dangerous. I shook my head. You're about to marry my best friend. I know. Then stop this. But he stepped closer. Close enough that I could feel the warmth of his body. You feel it too, he said quietly. My heart was racing now. This is insane. Maybe. Ryan. And then suddenly, his hand reached up and gently held the side of my face. The room went completely still. For a second, he hesitated, like he was giving me a chance to stop him. I should have, but I didn't move. And the next second, his lips touched mine. Soft, warm, not rushed, not desperate. Just one quiet kiss that felt like it had been waiting far too long to happen. My breath caught in my chest. And for a moment, the entire world disappeared. Until suddenly, voices echoed outside the door. Someone walking down the hallway. Ryan pulled back quickly. Both of us are breathing harder now. The reality of what just happened is crashing down all at once. His wedding. My best friend. The entire world is waiting outside that door. Ryan looked at me again. And the expression in his eyes had completely changed. Because the kiss we just shared had made one thing painfully clear. He wasn't sure he could marry Ethan anymore. And if that was true, the wedding is happening in 2 hours. It was about to become a disaster. For a few seconds after the kiss, neither of us moved. The storage room felt smaller now, like the walls had quietly closed in around us. Ryan was still standing inches away from me, close enough that I could feel his breath, close enough that my heart wouldn't calm down. Neither of us spoke, because the moment either of us said something, it would make what just happened real. Finally, I stepped back. What the hell was that? My voice sounded lower than usual. Ryan ran a hand through his hair, like he had been holding his breath for weeks and had finally exhaled. I don't know. You don't know? You think I planned that? Yes, I snapped quietly. You're getting married in 2 hours. I know. Then why did you kiss me? Ryan didn't answer right away. Instead, he looked at me like he was trying to solve a problem he didn't understand. Finally, he said something that made my stomach twist. Because every time you walk into a room, I notice. My chest tightened. That's not an answer. It's the only honest one I have. Outside the door, someone laughed loudly. Wedding guests. The reality of where we were slammed back into my mind. Ryan, I said firmly, you need to get your head together. You're about to marry Ethan. His jaw tightened slightly when I said Ethan's name. I know who I'm marrying. Then act like it. Ryan looked away. For the first time since I met him, he looked uncertain, like something inside him had cracked open. Finally, he straightened his jacket. You're right. I exhaled slowly. Good. That shouldn't have happened. No. We forget it. Yes. But even as we said the words, neither of us sounded convincing. Ryan opened the door slightly and checked the hallway. It was empty. He stepped out first. Then I followed. For a second, we stood there in silence. Two people pretending something hadn't just changed everything. Then Ryan spoke again. Lucas. What? His voice softened. That kiss. I raised a hand quickly. No. Don't. He studied my face. You felt it too. That doesn't matter. Why not? Because your fiancé is my best friend. Ryan nodded slowly, like he understood that, but he still didn't look convinced. Go get married, I said, and without waiting for another word, I walked back toward the garden. Outside, the wedding had grown louder. Guests were arriving. Champagne glasses clinked. Music drifted through the air. Everything looked beautiful, perfect, exactly how a wedding should look. Except now, I knew something no one else did. The groom had just kissed someone else. And that someone else was me. Ethan spotted me the second I stepped back outside. "Where the hell did you disappear to?" He laughed. "Bathroom. Man, you're missing everything." He wrapped an arm around my shoulders and pulled me toward the bar. "You nervous about your speech?" "A little. You'll be fine." Then he lowered his voice slightly. "Ryan's the nervous one." My stomach tightened. "Really?" "Yeah," Ethan said. "He's been acting weird all morning." I forced a small smile. "Wedding jitters." "Maybe." Ethan took a sip of his drink. Then he said something that made my heart sink. "He asked about you earlier." "What?" "Yeah," Ethan said casually. "He said you disappeared for a while." My chest tightened again. "What did you tell him?" "That you were probably hiding from your speech." Ethan laughed. I tried to laugh too. But inside my head, everything felt louder now, because Ryan had asked about me, and that meant the kiss was still in his mind too. About 20 minutes later, the wedding coordinator began gathering everyone. "Ceremony starts in 30 minutes. Guests started moving toward their seats. Ethan clapped his hands together excitedly. "This is it." He looked happier than I had ever seen him. The kind of happiness that made guilt feel like a knife in my chest. "You ready?" he asked. "Yeah." We walked toward the preparation room together. Inside, Ryan was already there adjusting his tie in the mirror. The moment he saw us walk in, his eyes landed on me again, and stayed there for just a second too long. Ethan didn't notice. He walked straight up and hugged him. "You look like a married man already." Ryan forced a smile. "Do I?" "Relax," Ethan laughed. "It's just a wedding." Ryan nodded, but his eyes flickered back toward me again, and the tension between us returned instantly. Quiet, dangerous, the kind no one else in the room could see. The wedding planner stepped in. 5 minutes. Everyone started moving, straightening jackets, checking ties, final preparations. Ethan turned toward me with a huge grin. "Man, I can't believe this is happening." My chest tightened again, because I could. I knew exactly what was about to happen, or rather, what might happen. Ryan looked at me one last time across the room, and the expression on his face had completely changed, because the kiss we shared earlier had done something neither of us expected. It made him hesitate, and when a groom starts hesitating 5 minutes before the ceremony, there's only one possible outcome. Something is about to go very, very wrong. 5 minutes later, the music started. Soft piano notes floated across the vineyard as guests settled into their seats. White chairs filled the garden. Flowers swayed gently in the warm afternoon breeze. Everything looked perfect, exactly how a wedding should look. Except my heart was beating so loudly, I could barely hear the music, because I knew something no one else here knew. The groom had kissed me, and now he was about to marry my best friend. I stood at the front beside Ethan, best man. Exactly where I was supposed to be. Ethan looked calm, happy, the happiest I had ever seen him. "You good?" he whispered to me. "Yeah," I said quickly. "You're pale." "Just nervous." Ethan laughed softly. "Relax. You're not the one getting married." If only he knew. The guests turned toward the entrance. The music shifted, and Ryan finally appeared at the end of the aisle. The moment he stepped into view, everyone smiled. The groom looked incredible. Dark suit, calm posture, perfect smile. But I noticed something no one else did. The moment his eyes lifted, they found me, not Ethan, me, just for a second. Then he forced himself to look away. Ethan waved him forward excitedly. Ryan walked slowly down the aisle. Guests smiled. Phones recorded the moment. The wedding planner beamed proudly. Everything looked exactly how a perfect wedding should look. Except for one thing. Ryan's eyes kept drifting back to me. Every few steps, every few seconds, like a compass stuck pointing in the wrong direction. When he finally reached the front, he stood beside Ethan. The officiant began speaking. "Welcome, everyone, to this beautiful celebration of love." But I barely heard the words, because Ryan was standing just 2 feet away from me. And every time the officiant paused, I could feel Ryan glance in my direction again. Ethan didn't notice. He was too busy smiling, holding Ryan's hand, completely unaware of the storm quietly building beside him. Then the officiant reached the vows, the moment every wedding waits for. Ethan went first. He spoke easily, confidently, his voice filled with love. "Ryan, the day I met you, I knew something in my life had changed forever." Guests smiled. Some wiped away tears. Ethan laughed softly halfway through his vows. "You're the calm to my chaos, and I promise to spend every day making you as happy as you make me." Applause rippled through the crowd. Ryan smiled at him, but the smile didn't fully reach his eyes. Then it was his turn. The officiant turned toward him. "Ryan, your vows." Ryan took a breath. The garden went completely silent. He looked at Ethan. Then, his eyes moved and landed on me. My chest tightened instantly. Ryan swallowed slightly. Then he started speaking. "Ethan." His voice sounded steady, but I could see it. The hesitation. "You're one of the best people I've ever known." A few guests chuckled softly. Ryan paused, just for a second, like he had forgotten the next line. Then he tried again. "You're kind, loyal, and you've always believed in me." Another pause. "This one is longer." Guests shifted slightly in their seats. The officiant watched patiently. Ethan smiled nervously. "You okay?" he whispered. Ryan nodded. "Yeah." But when he looked up again, his eyes found me, and stayed there, for a moment too long. My heart pounded. Ryan's jaw tightened. Then suddenly, he stopped speaking. The silence in the garden grew heavy, uncomfortable. Ethan laughed nervously. "Ryan." Ryan looked back at him, then back at me, and in that moment, I knew he couldn't do it. The officiant gently prompted him. "Ryan, would you like a moment?" Ryan nodded slowly. Then he said the one sentence no one at a wedding ever expects to hear. "I'm sorry." Confusion rippled through the guests. Ethan blinked. "What?" Ryan looked at him, and the guilt on his face was impossible to miss. "I can't do this." The garden exploded with whispers. The officiant stepped back in shock. Ethan stared at him as he had just spoken another language. "What do you mean you can't do this?" Ryan ran a hand through his hair. His voice dropped. "I thought I could, but I can't." Ethan's face slowly lost its color. "You're joking, right?" Ryan shook his head. "No." The silence became unbearable. Dozens of guests stared. Phones are still recording. And suddenly, Ethan followed Ryan's gaze, straight toward me. My stomach dropped, because in that moment, he understood everything. Ethan's voice came out barely above a whisper. "Lucas." Every pair of eyes in the garden turned toward me, and the disaster that started with one kiss had just become public. For a moment, no one moved. Not the guests, not the officiant, not even the wedding planner who had been smiling proudly just seconds earlier. The vineyard had gone completely silent, because weddings aren't supposed to stop like that. They aren't supposed to break in the middle of the vows. But Ryan had just done exactly that. And now every single person there was staring. At him, at Ethan, and slowly, at me. Ethan looked from Ryan to me, and back again. The confusion in his eyes lasted only a second. Then something darker replaced it. Realization. "Lucas," he said slowly. My chest tightened. "Tell me I'm wrong." The words came out quietly, but the entire garden heard them. Ryan stepped forward slightly. "Ethan, don't." Ethan's voice snapped through the air. His eyes were still locked on me. Did something happen? The question hung there, heavy, impossible to escape. Every instinct in my body told me to lie, to protect him, to pretend. But the truth was already written all over Ryan's face, and Ethan could see it. Ryan spoke first. "Ethan, I'm sorry. That was all it took." Ethan laughed. But there was no humor in it. "Wow." He looked around the garden, at the shocked faces. "The cameras are still recording." Then back at us. "On my wedding day." His voice cracked slightly. "You two couldn't even wait until tomorrow?" Guests began whispering louder now. Someone in the back stood up. The officiant stepped away awkwardly. But Ethan didn't look away from us. Not once. "Lucas," he said. His voice is softer now. More dangerous. "You're my best friend." The words felt like knives. "I know. Do you?" His eyes were burning now. "Because right now it doesn't feel like it." Ryan stepped forward again. "This isn't Lucas's fault." Ethan turned toward him instantly. "Oh really? Then whose fault is it?" Ryan didn't hesitate. "Mine." Ethan laughed again. "That's supposed to make this better?" "No," Ryan admitted. "But it's the truth." The silence stretched again. Then Ethan looked back at me. "And you?" The question was simple, but I knew what he was asking. Not about the kiss. Not about the betrayal. About something worse. "Do you love him?" My chest tightened. Ryan looked at me too now. The entire garden waited. Dozens of strangers. Family members. Friends. All watching. I swallowed slowly, then told the truth. "Yes." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Ethan closed his eyes briefly, like the word had physically hurt him. When he opened them again, something had changed. The anger was still there, but the pain was stronger. Unbelievable. He shook his head slowly. "You know what the worst part is?" Neither of us answered. "You're the two people I trusted most." His voice cracked again. Then he suddenly laughed. A tired, broken sound. "Well." He spread his hands toward the guests. "I guess the wedding's off." A wave of whispers spread across the garden. Guests began standing up. Some walked away awkwardly. The officiant quietly gathered his papers. The beautiful wedding Ethan had spent months planning was collapsing right in front of him. Ryan stepped closer. "Ethan, don't follow me." Ethan stepped back. His voice is cold now. "I need time." He looked at both of us one last time. "If I see either of you right now, I might say something I'll regret." Then he turned and walked down the aisle alone, past the chairs, past the shocked guests, past the flowers that were meant to celebrate a marriage that never happened, until he disappeared beyond the vineyard gates. The garden fell quiet again. Only a few guests remained now. Most had already left. Ryan stood beside me. Neither of us spoke for a long moment. Finally, I exhaled slowly. "We just destroyed his life." Ryan shook his head. "No." His voice was quiet. "But we destroyed the lie he was about to live." I looked at him. "You think that makes this better?" "No." He didn't try to pretend. But pretending would have been worse. Another silence passed between us. Then Ryan said something unexpected. "You should go after him." "What?" "He needs you." He just watched his best friend ruin his wedding. Ryan nodded. "I know. And you're still telling me to go?" Ryan gave a tired smile. "Because if you don't, you'll lose him forever." The truth in those words hit hard. I looked toward the road where Ethan had disappeared, then back at Ryan. "And you?" Ryan shrugged slightly. "I'll be here." For the first time that day, he looked uncertain. Vulnerable. "What happens to us now?" I asked. Ryan met my eyes. "That," he said quietly, "depends on whether Ethan ever forgives us." And as the sun slowly began setting over the vineyard, I realized something. The wedding might have ended, but the real story between the three of us, it was only just beginning.